What's up, Blasianeers and Blasianettes? So I've seen the movie. I saw it at a drive-in. I believe it or not. Yeah. They actually have them. Well, at least they have at least just one in my area where I'm at, and it was worth it. I had a lot of fun being at the drive-in, and I'm glad I managed to see the movie. Me and Lindsay went. Me and my girlfriend went. Um, and I'm glad that we went together to see it. But as for my experience with the movie itself, I was underwhelmed. I didn't hate the movie, but I didn't love it either. I mean, it was entertaining, but the story wasn't really that great. It was really, really silly, and the character development and the relationships with the characters weren't really that great to me. I wasn't gravitating towards any of the characters. Um, I mean, it was really cool to see David Levinson back in this movie, and it was cool to see the former President Whitmore in the movie too. And it was cool to see the kids from the movie, the former president's daughter and let's see, and Dylan Hiller, who was Will Smith's character, his son. It was cool to see those two back, even though they were recasted as, they had different actors play them. Both, Whitmore's daughter and Hiller's son. But I don't know. I mean, there were some cool parts. The special effects was great. That's not the most underwhelming part of the movie. It was the story and the relationship with the characters, and it seemed like they didn't know what they wanted to do with a lot of these characters. And I thought bringing Dr. Ocon back, bringing him back was a mistake. Him being in the movie, not so much a mistake, but him being in the present time and playing a bigger role than he did in the first one, I just thought that wasn't necessary. If like how I would have had him in the movie, I probably would have been some old archive footage of him, like something he recorded, like while the aliens were, while the alien attacks, like the beginning of the alien attacks of the first movie from like 20 years back. That's what I would have done, like where they watched some of him, some footage from him, and then he did some notes that he didn't share with the president at that time, or something like that. But I do like that Whitmore is traumatized from the events of the first movie, like where it just stays with him, where it just fucks with his head, and he's having nightmares, and but there's a point in the movie where him and Ocon are having headaches at the same time. Now with Ocon, I can understand because apparently the aliens put him in a coma in the first movie and they didn't kill him, whatever. But they put him in a coma and he's having headaches. Like it's like, I guess there's some kind of connection that he's sharing, like something that his interaction, like him, like just him being attacked by the alien. I guess that has something to do with it. But with Whitmore, it didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense. I mean, like for that happened, for them to coincidentally have headaches at the same time, it didn't make sense to me. Now, if this happened after, there's gonna be some minor spoilers, so maybe not so much spoilers because we've seen this happen in the trailer. But where Whitmore goes into one of the facilities and he goes in the room where one of the aliens is being held out. He goes in the room with one of them, and then they wrap the technicals around him, and they're using him as a translator, I guess. And I guess after, if Whitmore were having headaches after that, then I can understand. That. But I'm pretty sure that he had these headaches around the same time as Ocon had his headaches, before he had that physical contact with the alien. But I don't know, it feels the plot it feels very slapstick, very silly, like Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. The plot of that was really silly, but they had a writer's strike at that time, so we can't really. I guess it's not really necessarily fair to put them in the same category. I mean, there was a writer's strike, so what were you gonna do? But with here, I don't know. And when they showed, I guess the mothership or the queen ship or the mothership, I don't know. It looked like the Death Star from Star Wars. I mean, like, oh, what, you got the Death Star in this movie? Like, what the fuck? And I don't know. I didn't feel scared for the characters really. I mean, there was a moment where I did, but I felt scared for the characters all the way through the first movie. But with this, not so much. I'm like, they're gonna get out of this. They're gonna defeat the aliens. They're gonna win again. I mean, there were casualties, like on the human side, but I don't know. I just felt more scared for the characters in the first one. I mean, the suspense was there, and you didn't know if I felt uncomfortable. I felt claustrophobic. I didn't. It felt like that. It felt like Hiller and Levinson were not going to get out of there, or a chance that one of them was going to have to save. One of them was going to have to save the other and say, I'm going to have to stay behind and destroy the ship. But that didn't happen. I was on the edge of my seat. But here, not so much. I mean, if anything, I probably felt heavy-eyed, from time to time, in this movie. But on the edge of my seat, claustrophobic, none of that. I didn't feel none of that. But, and when they were making symbols like this, and then when they showed this to the alien, when they're like, "What's this?" and then he just backed away, like he was really intimidated by whatever this fucking thing is. At first, when you saw symbols of this, I thought to myself, what is it, fucking Pac-Man or Pac-Woman or whatever or something? That's what it felt like to me. And when you finally saw the thing, I'm like, okay, it's like what? I guess how they would have made a very serious Pac-Man movie or something. And but I mean, I know it sounds like I hate the movie, but I just didn't love it. I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. And did this movie need to be made? No. This movie was not necessary. I know a lot of us were like, when is the next Independence Day movie coming out? After that first one came out, and you're like, I cannot wait for a sequel. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. But I love how that movie ended, where it feels like it didn't need another movie, really. But I know some people may think, well, there's got to be other aliens out there, so they got to come back at some point. I would have put it at a 5-year gap, or something like that. Not 20 years necessarily, but no. This didn't make sense of why the aliens waited 20 years. It didn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. If you like the movie, that's great. But I mean, I'm allowed to hate. I'm allowed to not really like a movie that you enjoyed, and just like I'm allowed to enjoy a movie that you hate. We're all entitled to our opinions. You know what I'm saying? But if I had to give it a rating, I'd probably get 3 chair spins out of 5. Like 1, 2, and 3. I guess that was 3. If that was 4, then I take it back. But I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't see the movie. I mean, like, if you are a fan of the first movie, there's a chance you may like it, but there's also a chance you may not like it. So I'm just preparing y'all. But I don't know. I mean, in the final act, it felt too easy. I mean, it felt a bit easier than the third act of the first movie. That's just me personally. I felt, I mean, I get it. They had the technology now that, for another attack. I mean, I totally get that. But, I mean, it just took away the effects of, what made the first movie effective, for me. But, I don't know. I mean, the trailers were great. I enjoyed them. If you saw my reactions for the trailers, I thought they were pretty damn cool. But I mean, I just had a feeling that, I don't know, like, I guess I didn't walk away disappointed because my expectations were like weren't skyrocketing through the roof. But I just, I just had an open mind and took it for what it was. And I mean, it's not. I mean, like, it's not as ridiculous as that that Godzilla remake that the producers of this movie did. I mean, it's not as ridiculous as that movie, but I mean, I don't know. That's not saying much at all. But if you like to see shit blow up and everything, and you don't care about the plot, you don't care what the plot is, and you don't care about the relationship with the characters, you don't care about the character development, if you don't give a shit about any of that, then you may enjoy this movie. But I don't know. I mean, it leaves it opening for a third one, and I can see them trying to make a trilogy out of this, where they make one more movie and then that would be it. But I don't even think that's necessary. I mean, I may be curious enough to see how it may turn out, but I'm not excited for it. But I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, that's just my take on this movie. So, I mean, I'm sorry if if you enjoyed it and and I just, and I guess if you wanted me to like the movie, I'm sorry, but I just didn't like it as much as I wanted to. I just didn't. And Jeremy John said it best, that you're not going to remember it, in I don't know what seconds that he said, but you're not going to. I mean, he was right. I mean, like, it's not memorable to me. I mean, I may have to watch it again for it to be memorable, but it's like some parts are all over the place. I can't really put them together, like all in one scene, the scene, and I don't really have the motivation to. But if I were to watch it again, it wouldn't be sooner than later. That's all I would say. But I mean, if you've seen the movie, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the movie, and don't give me a hard time for having an opinion, for a movie that you want to see, that you enjoyed or whatever. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. But I mean, if you liked it, that's cool. I mean, like, good for you. I mean, God bless you. But I just did not find it that fascinating. But that's it. So leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you thought of this movie. Did it hold up? Did it live up to the first movie or no? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. So if you enjoyed this review, make sure you thumb up the video and make sure you click subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.